On today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to replace a fuel line on a Stihl MS 290 chainsaw. I've got two different chainsaws that came in, both Stihl MS 290s, and I'm going to be replacing the fuel line on both units because it's leaking around the gas tank. The two units are going to be different model years, so there's going to be some slight variations, but overall it's going to be the same process in removing the fuel lines and putting new ones in. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the video and I'll show you how it's done. I'm going to start by removing the air filter assembly. Next, I'm going to remove the carburetor. Before you remove the carburetor, you're going to have to remove this plate as well as the throttle linkage and also disconnect the fuel line as well. I'll also move the switch shaft, which is going to be the black plastic piece right here, and then I will remove the ground wire from it so it's easier to access. Now I'm going to take my specialty tool to go ahead and pry on the fuel line. Once I get the gasket released from the tank, it should pull out pretty easy, and then I'm going to continue to pull on it until the fuel filter comes off. Here's the old fuel line that wasn't making a good seal, and here's a new fuel line comparable side to side. I always double check the part to make sure it's the same before I install it. Now I'm going to clean the top of the fuel tank area to make sure all the debris is out of the way before I install the new fuel line, so that way it makes a nice tight seal on top of the fuel tank. Now I'm going to install the new fuel line. Make sure that the curved end goes into the tank and the rib side sticks up. That is the fuel line that connects to the bottom of your carburetor. I always use a little press fluid oil to make sure that there's no friction when I'm trying to put the fuel line on the fuel tank. I use a smooth end specialty tool to push the fuel line in there. That's going to be a tight fit where that gasket is, so you just have to go around it and continually work it into place till it seats properly. Do not use a flathead screwdriver or you will puncture the fuel line. Take your fuel line and install it into the plastic molding. Just make sure that you're not pinching off your fuel line if it's too tight, because what will happen is you're going to be pinching the back of it, which won't allow fuel to flow from the tank into the carburetor, and you'll have running issues. I'm going to install the carburetor as well as the other parts, and then I'm going to test the saw to make sure that it runs properly and that the fuel isn't leaking anymore. When you're installing the ground wire, make sure that you're pulling it through this plastic molding because it will not push through from the center. So you're going to have to align it all the way to the outside like I'm doing right here. And then once I get it aligned, I'm going to pull it through back towards the carburetor, which is going to be able to seat it in. You won't be able to do it the other way. Now I'm going to remove the old fuel filter as well as the fuel, and I'm going to install a new fuel filter on the end of the new fuel line that I just put in. Here I'll use my fishing tool to snag the fuel line so I can pull it out and put the fuel filter on. If you guys did find this video helpful, make sure you guys like the video below and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. I've got lots of other great content on there for repairs that come through the shop every day, as well as how-to videos and I bet you didn't know videos.